from campus. Come on, tell me walk one. Campus connection, yeah, and that's a one. Yeah. Walk one from campus. How we are carry lot from campus. Come on, tell me walk one. Campus connection, yeah, and that's a one. Hey, so make us again listen, let me tell you this. Students, I wanna make we do this. Oh yes, we create this space just for you. Make we talk about you, make we talk about school, government and politics, sports, academics, anything that concern you. I don't know when love pass through. It's all about the gospel. So tell me what one from campus. Youths are going on from campus. Come on, tell me what one. Campus connection, and that's a one. Hey, I walk one from campus.
All right. Welcome, everyone, to yet another episode of Campus Connection. I am so elated. Well, we are so elated to have you here with us. And just in case you're wondering, who is this we that he's speaking of? I'm Jonathan Fitch, and with me is my co-host. All right. Co-host, I think your mic is muted. All right. Seems as if my co-host is
Right.
having a bit of tech.
Right.
Okay. Yeah,
Oh,
run it again. Run
yes.
it again.
Thank you so much, Jonathan. Good evening, everyone. I'm Anesta. If this is your first time here, welcome, welcome. If it's not your first time, welcome back to Campus Connection. We are so excited about today's show, and we're
Hmm.
excited that you have joined us on this journey, this 1 hour journey, maybe.
Yeah.
But yes, welcome to all of you, whether you're on Facebook, YouTube, or Love 101 FM. Welcome, welcome, welcome.
Absolutely, absolutely. And speaking about the
So,
exciting
Jonathan,
show that we
how are
have,
you doing?
I'm doing well. I am doing well. How are you on your side?
I'm all right. I'm doing good. Excited for
Awesome.
today's show. Interesting topic.
Yes, it should be something rather intriguing. Based on the guests that we have, trust me, we have some very heavy hitters who are well equipped to contribute to the conversation that we're about to have. And just in case you're wondering what we're going to be talking about this evening, we're going to be talking about school safety. You know, we want to really get an idea and understanding of the different, ways in which we can increase safety in our schools. Many of us would have been made aware of the news of the student from BB Cook. Boy, that thing really rocked me. And I'm still trying to come to terms with everything that has happened. And stuff, you heard about that one?
Yes, 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 I did. And I'm not sure if it's glitching a little bit on my end. So I'm kind of hearing you in and out. I'm not sure if that's the same for you. But
Yes, it's
yes,
the
and
same for me, but I'm trying to. Mhm.
okay. I believe that gave rise to today's topic actually, because we definitely
Mm-hmm.
wanted to, dig deeper into what's really going on in our schools. And we want to also hear from some very experienced panelists, persons who have dealt with the issue of school safety. And that will be coming up at 5:55. We'll be talking to Corporal Kester Fennell, St. Catherine North Division Community Safety and Security Branch. We'll also be talking with the acting principal of BB Cook High School, Letitia Gallimore. And we'll be talking with Mrs. Grace Anna Baugh Osborne. She's a parent, life coach, and a mentor. So we're looking forward to that certainly in a few. And we also have education news and bulletin coming up. Education news and bulletin. and we have our honor roll guest, which is the acting principal of BB Coke High School again, who will be featured in our
Mm-hmm.
honor roll segment. So quite an interesting show lined up for everyone today.
Absolutely. And I am definitely looking forward to that. So let's get straight into it. We are going to be having our education news team done by Nicholas Williamson.
Hi, good afternoon, everybody. How you doing?
Good, good. How are you, Nicholas?
I'm well, thank you. I am very
Awesome.
much
We can hear you
excited for the
clearly.
news today. All right, education news and bulletin for Tuesday, October 10th, 2023, here inside Campus Connection. Prime Minister, the Most Honorable Andrew Holness, has commended 5 students of BB Coke High School for their heroic actions in seeking medical attention for their severely injured schoolmate, and listing them as ambassadors for good. The young heroes Leon Barnes, Kahari Green, Gary Bartley, DeJohn Gordon, and DeJohn Powell were each presented with a laptop and certificate of official commendation on Tuesday, October 3rd at Jamaica House in recognition of exemplary and selfless action performed on behalf of Jaheim Coleman, a fellow student at BB Cook High School on Thursday, September 28, 2023. The Prime Minister added that Jaheim's survival could be tied to the actions of these young men. He continued by referring to them as ambassadors for good and ambassadors of positive behavior. In other news, Health Minister Dr. Christopher Tufton says the recent scare at the Ocherius Primary School in St. Anne has emphasized the need for implementation of a national school nutrition policy. According to Dr. Tufton, Minister of Health, 65 children received the treatment in hospital yesterday, Monday, October 9th, after they consumed the sweets laced with ganja purchased from a vendor. One child is still under observation at the hospital. Speaking at last Wednesday's post-cabinet media briefing, Dr. Tufton noted that the fact that a final report is being compiled by a consultant and will be submitted to cabinet. He added that the aim is to complete the document before the end of this year for it to then go to Parliament for approval before next April. The minister noted that the implementation of the National Schools Nutrition Policy will also involve the management of the vendors. In other news, the Minister of Education and Youth, Honorable Favour Williams, says that the key education sector personnel are in the process of being trained for implementation of the Data Protection Act. In addition, eLearning Jamaica Company Limited has collaborated with the ministry and to administer. So they would have collaborated with the ministry to administer a sensitization program for principals and school administrators, which is now underway. Approximately 100 data protection officers from schools island-wide began training yesterday, October 9th, though through the University of Technology in preparation for the legislation. The Data Protection Act, which was passed in 2020, provides guidelines on handling personal data in physical and electronic form. The law is scheduled to take effect on December 1st, 2023. In Campus Connection Bulletin, Jamaica Youth for Christ presents their annual prayer breakfast under the theme New Season, Same Mission on Saturday, October 14, 2023 at the Jamaica Stock Exchange, 40 Holt Harbour Street, Kingston, featuring John Mark Wigan, Audia Spencer, and Minister D. Brown. Guest speaker would be Reverend Clayton Roberts and MC Dr. Nadine Blair. Contribution is that of $3,000, and they ask that you support the Jamaica Youth for Christ and join for a spirited morning in God's presence. That's all the news we have for you today here inside Campus Connection Education News and Bulletin. I'm Nicholas Williamson. Have a wonderful rest of your week.
All right. Thank you so much, Nicholas, for that education news and bulletin brought to you by Nicholas Williamson, a first year law student at the University of the West Indies, a youth parliamentarian, and the president of the Leah Club of Kingston. So, we have for you a very special interview, mini interview with our honorable guest, as we said earlier, Miss Letitia Gallimore,
Mm-hmm.
acting principal of the BB Cook High School. And we definitely want to know if you have any questions for her. We'll be talking with her in a few, but we also do want to ask you a question. What can parents and guardians do to increase student safety awareness? So you can chime into this question. What can parents and guardians do to increase students safety awareness? Chime in on our WhatsApp line, that's 876-997-3125, or you can call in on our studio lines at 876-968-8327 to 8. We want to hear from you. And if you don't want to reach out to us via phone, you can always be right there in the comments, just letting us know what are your thoughts on that question. What can parents and guardians do to increase students' safety awareness? Jonathan?
And just in case you are wondering where we're live, it's at Love 101 FM Jamaica on Facebook and on YouTube. So you can feel free to jump on live and see, you know, see how we look, Jonathan and his stuff. Want to see how we look this evening. Yeah, and an important thing to note, today is October 10th, and it's
Mm-hmm.
being celebrated as World Mental Health Day. And the overall objective is about awareness of mental health issues around the world and mobilizing efforts in support of mental health. And the
Mm-hmm.
reality is that mental health challenges are now more a norm than an exception. And so we cannot only intervene to cure, but also to preserve and to sustain lifestyle practices that allow us to cope and be the best that we can be. And as you know, Love 101 is a religious organization, and so we can't help but share with Jesus is very much able to give you the peace that you may so desire, but also it is important for you your mental health seriously. So if you need to speak with someone, if you need to, get certain things balanced out as relates to your different that, feel free to reach out to someone to get that kind of help in as you also seek the Lord. Both of them will work perfectly together, right? So that is absolutely
Absolutely.
important. We are having some issues with getting our honor roll guests online. So in the meantime, in between time, we're going to go straight into our I Choose Christ feature, and this is by Miss Shamar Jackson.
myself as well, and He has been using me for His glory. There are times when I was able to stand in front of that big school and sing and talk about the goodness of God. It's something I never thought saw myself doing because I was always a shy person. But He allowed me to be bold, and I have been growing in Christ ever since, and I am still growing now. But God has been really good. He has been a provider. He made ways where there seemed to be no way. And God is capable of taking anyone through their situations. There's nothing too hard for God to do. And I just want to encourage you and let you know that our God is able, He is able to do the impossible. Our God is able to do what no one else can do. He is supernatural. He can do the extraordinary, and he can do what no one else can do. That's truly the God that we serve. He is capable of doing anything. And what He requires of us is just for us to give Him our heart, just surrender our lives to Him, and He would take full control. All of us were created for a purpose, and we have to know Christ in order to find out the true purpose why we are here. So I just want to say that I chose Christ, and you should too. Just give Him a chance and see what God will do for you. God bless you.
All right. Thank you so much to Shamara Jackson reminding us that she chose Christ and we should too. I believe we're going for a quick break. And when we return, we'll be talking with Consultation High School. Stay with us here on Campus Connection.
Hey, some make us on then listen, let me tell you this. Students, I wanna make we do this.
My kids are growing up in a rapidly changing world. They amaze me every day with their curiosity and passion for wanting to create a better future for us all. The government is investing in Jamaicans through the STEM scholarship program. Now, my kids have the opportunity to pursue studies in the fields of science, technology, engineering, and mathematics to get certified as STEM professionals. And yours can too. Find out more at www.mof.gov.jm/scholarships. Sign up for a STEM scholarship today.
Heroes Weekend comes alive for Jamaica Family Fest. October 14 at Harmony Beach Park, Montego Bay, and October 16 at Hope Gardens, Kingston. Bring the kids for over 30 rides and games. Performances by Kevin Downswell, Elaine, Ching Ching, Lubert Levy, and more. Gates open 10 a.m. to 10 p.m. Admission free. Jamaica Family Fest is sponsored by Gospel Link Up, Harmony Beach Park, UDC, Jamaica Biscuit Company, Traxon Records, Nissan, Kia, Old MacDonald Farm, Love 101 FM.
Jamaica. Let's come together to celebrate a proud heritage. This Heritage Week, October 10 to 16. Highlights will include National Heritage Week Church Service, Bethel Temple Apostolic Church in Maypen, Sunday, October 15 at 10 a.m. Ceremony of Investiture of National Honors and Awards, Monday, October 16 at 8 a.m. National Heroes Day Concert, Monday, October 16 at 5 p.m. Most events will be broadcast live on TVJ, CVM, IRI FM, and social media platforms. Heritage Week 2023, celebrating a proud heritage, resilient and strong.
When you say phosphorus, you say electrical. SWA cables, conduits, transformers, and breakers. When you say phosphorus, you say lighting, chandeliers, and more. When you say phosphorus, you say LEDs and solar water heaters. Phosphorus is electrical, lighting, solar, and LEDs. Visit us today, Kingston, Maniville, and Montego Bay. Phosphorus.
The government is revitalizing urban spaces and improving lives under its urban renewal program by removing zinc fences, beautifying communities, and upgrading parks. The time by the Ministry of Economic Growth and Job Creation is...
Okay, where are the campus eyes?
All right, welcome back to Campus Connection here on the Family Station Love 101. If you are just joining us, we want to thank you so much for choosing to stop by, and I hope that you will stay with us because we have a very important, I believe, conversation up in a few. And so we would want you to be a part of that discussion. And with that being said, the question that we're asking evening is what can parents and guardians do to increase students' safety awareness? You can send your WhatsApp message 876-997-3125, 876-997-3125, or you can drop us a comment on Facebook or on YouTube at Love 101 FM Jamaica because I want you to be a part of the discussion. We also have a vox pop that was done. Very interesting vox pop. So let's hear from the head students at BB Cook High School what they have to say on the matter.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Dominic Myers, student of the BB Polk High School, and I am also the head prefect slash head boy of the School of Choice, which is DBB Cook High School, for the year of 2023 to 2024. What do I love about the BB Cook High School is this. BB Cook High School has an incredible sixth form program and also some splendid teachers and auxiliary staff, tuck shop workers, canteen, everything. Also a remarkable football program. We are also Rugby League champions 2018 and Ben Francis winners 2019. It is a remarkable school. Others might think different, but we have a lot to offer. We have skill areas, food and nutrition, auto mechanics, welding, a lot and a lot more. EB Cook High School is the school of choice. Where else would I want to be?
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Audrey Maris, head girl of the BB Cook High School. How does it feel to be a student of the BB Cook High School? I feel very proud, blessed, and highly favored. One of the many things that I love about the BB Cook High School, the subject and skill areas that offered at the school. Subject areas as in like, especially the skill areas. For example, electrical technology, building technology, technical drawing, auto mechanic, a lot of others, and activities that the school participates in, such as football team, the rugby team, the track and field team as well. You have the culture and drama club, tourism action, 4-H, environmental. Those are just a few. I am currently in culture and drama club, and that club has helped me to express myself more, step more out of my little shell, my little bubble, and it has helped me to be a lot more comfortable with public speaking and speaking a little bit louder as well and voicing my opinion without any fear or discomfort.
All right. Positive
All right.
elements being shared there of BB Cool. And we thought it to be important because a lot of negativity was being highlighted. But you know what I really appreciated when
Mhm.
Prime Minister Holness invited the young men from BB Cook, who were a part of the rescue team, as I'd call them, um,
Mhm.
with them to, you know, seek audience with him, and
Mhm.
he gave them words of encouragement. I believe each student received a laptop, and it shows how important it is to do good, um, because good things will happen when you do good.
Right, absolutely. And it certainly is noteworthy the school's their motto or their vision statement, which says our shared vision is of a school that enables each child to achieve his or her full potential within a learning environment that is safe, positive, respectful, inclusive, and welcoming. And, just going from that, you realize that there's so much more sometimes to an institution than the negative press that it receives. This one act cannot ill cannot be overshadowed by the good that these students did in terms of helping their schoolmates to get to the hospital, to get the medical treatment that he needed. And so certainly they were living out their school's vision statement, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And we certainly want to just give a shout out to all of them. I guess
Absolutely.
we're not seeing Miss Gallimore. I saw someone in the comments saying, "Where is Miss Gallimore?" We don't know. We're trying to reach her, but we have been unsuccessful. So hopefully we can bring her back on at some point. But yes, we are asking you, those of you who are listening, those who are watching, we don't want you to forget the question because we want to hear from you. What can parents and guardians do to increase student safety awareness? Remember, you can comment right there if you're watching on Facebook or YouTube, Love 101 FM Jamaica, or you can send us a message on WhatsApp. If you don't have the time to type, send us a voice note at 876-997-3125, or you can call us and we'll talk to you live on the studio lines at 876-968-8327 to 8.
That's right. Miss Gallimore, unfortunately, is having some internet issues. We're just getting word concerning that, so she'll be unable to join us. But you want to stay with us as we go into our main discussion, school safety. We have heavy hitters, as I said earlier on. They are the kind of people that we want to talk to for this kind of topic. And we're going to bring them on right now. But just to give you a glimpse into who we're talking to, we're talking to Mrs. Osborne. She's a pastor, parent, life coach, and mentor. Christian for over 25 years. She has worked in the humanitarian field for over 12 years. So you know, she knows what she's talking about. And she's also the founder and Kinti Nations Ministry, married 17 years and is the mother of two boys. And we have Corporal Hester Fennell, he is St. Catherine North Division Community Safety and Security Branch. He's a member of the JCF, of course, for over 13 years and currently attached to the St. Catherine North Division. And he's a domestic violence intervention manager, corporate communication liaison for the division. Lady and gentlemen, welcome to Campus Connection.
Welcome, welcome.
Thank
Good
you. Thank you so
afternoon.
much
Good
for having
afternoon,
us.
and thank you for having us as well.
Awesome, awesome. So you see what's happening in our schools on a daily basis, it seems. No. So we're just going to ask this question before we go to the break because we have more after the break. But just to begin, and we start with April, what can we do to make our schools safe based on your area of expertise?
All right. When you ask what can we do to make our schools safe, when you ask that question, you realize that it encapsulates everybody, not just the school and the staff of the school, but every single person, every other stakeholder that has any invested benefit or interest in the development of our youth and our children. And so it starts with the parents, the students themselves, the staff, as well as any other well thinking, law abiding citizen playing a role in the process. So whilst there are some things that needs to be done from the perspective of the school, as citizens, we have a civic duty to ensure that our children are protected. Understand?
Mm-hmm.
And so, in order for a school to be made safe, there are certain things that must be in place. And the first thing we have to understand is that a safe school is one that prioritizes the protection of the students, the staffs, and even the visitors that come to the school. And so, in order to make that a reality, there are certain key components that must be in place. For example, the first thing we want to ensure is that the physical safety of the premises is there. You know, you have to ensure that you have controlled access points. So persons can't just come in and go out of the compound as they please without persons there to stop them or without there being mechanisms in place to control the movement. You want to ensure that there are surveillance systems in place. You know, you can't be everywhere And as administrators, you want to ensure that you are able to keep an eye on what is happening on your compound to see what's happening
Yes.
with your students, your staff, etc. You also have to ensure that there are safety protocols in place. And these safety protocols is they should be taught to the students and the staff. Everyone must be aware of the
All
protocols.
right, Corporal, hold that point. We want to safety protocols, but we have to take a quick break. So we'll be right back after these messages.
Here's why you can't afford to miss the Morning Watch.
I love listening to the Morning Watch because topics are discussed and issues are highlighted that are of major importance, which in turn edify me.
The Morning Watch, Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays.
I like listening to the Morning Watch. I find it very informative. I find it very interesting. The topics that are covered are very, very wide.
The Morning Watch, thought provoking, insightful, current. Listen for the probing questions with attorney at law Stokely Marshall and the in-depth discussion with Reverend Dr. Dallin Toussaint. On Thursdays, the Morning Watch is brought to you by Bashco. Bashco, the store that gives you more. The Morning Watch, Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays. The Morning Watch is on the family station Love 101. Do you have a heart condition? Your care should be in the hands of our experienced cardiovascular team at Partners Interventional Center of Jamaica. We're one of the leading heart centers for angiogram, stenting, pacemakers, EP studies, and ablation therapy. PICJ has the expertise and latest technology to treat all your heart needs. Call 876-995-7425 or email info@pic-jm.com for appointments. PICJ, your partners for life. The New Testament Church of God, in association with Kingdom Partners, invite you to a grand gospel crusade. Jesus is calling. What is your answer? Monday, October 9 through to Sunday, October 15, 6:30 each evening. With speakers, Pastor Donnie McClurkin, Bishop Rowan Edwards, Reverend Easton Thompson, Evangelist Arthur Grant, and more. It's at the Gregory Park, Main Road, Portmore, St. Catherine. And also come out for the Health Fair, Saturday, October 14, 9 a.m. at Cedar Grove Academy.
Clearing personal non-commercial shipments at the port? Avoid the wait. Request a contactless clearance through your agent today. It's more efficient. It's secure. The time by the Jamaica Customs Agency is
5603.
All right, welcome back to Campus Connection. If you're just joining us, we are talking about school safety. And on this platform, on this panel, we have Corporal Kester Fennell, we have Pastor Grace Osborne, and Gallimore, acting principal of DB High School, has joined us finally. Thank you so much, Miss Gallimore, for being here with us this evening. But Corporal, you were making a very important point before the break. Can you share with us 3 of those safety protocols that you believe should be implemented in all schools?
All right, three. If I'm gonna go off just the top of my head to think about 3 safety protocols that should be implemented in all schools, as I indicated earlier, the control of access points is one.
Mhm.
You must be able to control who's coming in and going out and when they are able to do so. You must also have a surveillance system in place so that you can keep an eye on what is happening around your premises. And thirdly, I'm going to add this one in because based on what we've been seeing and what we've been hearing in the news too, with children getting sick from the things that they've been purchasing from vendors, I think that you want to ensure that your school remains a no vending zone. You should
Mhm.
be able, as a school, you should be able to control what your students consume. And the only way you can do that is if you are the one that is offering it to them. Once you have external parties that are offering these children meals or sweets or even toys and other things that they can get their hands on, because we know that, some vendors from time to time are selling even things such as vape to students. And those things are not for children and they are not healthy. And so you have to be able to control those things if you are going to be looking at the holistic safety of your students. So you want to ensure that you eliminate vending from your school. So those are three that I would say off the top of my head that should be implemented in all schools.
Certainly. And I want to go now to Miss Gallimore, because just the nature of events that led to us even discussing this topic on school safety. Um, what are some of the challenges that administrators, schools face in terms of keeping our schools safe? From your standpoint as the acting principal of BB Coke High School, you want to go ahead and unmute first? There you go.
Thank you. Thank
Awesome.
you. Thanks for having me on the program. I had a lot of challenge getting on initially, but thank God I'm on
Right.
finally. Um, as was said by Corporal earlier, a school, a safe school, there are a number of factors that contributes to a school being safe. And even when protocols are in place, things will happen that we might not have direct control over. But as it relates to challenges that might prevent or might hinder administrators for carrying out some of their roles and responsibility, one of ensuring a safe and secure environment for staff, for students, for all members of the compound, would be resources. I heard Corporal mentioning about having surveillances. There are a number of schools who don't have such facilities in place, where you can sit from a room and monitor what is taking place on your campus. Also, depending on the nature and the built and the location of which your campus is located, and just the plant in general, having a surveillance system would be very good based on the nature of your plant. If you have a big plant, etc., that you would have to monitor. So lack of resources is one of the challenges that I know most administrators might have to deal with on a daily basis, in which they now have to be creative and look at different strategies in which they can use to maneuver such lack of resources. Also, manpower is another thing. In order for administrators to employ additional securities and security staff, to help and to assist in keeping the environment, ensure that the environment is safe, it requires additional manpower through human resources. And for some institutions, that might also be a challenge financially. Thirdly, having proper protocols and procedures in place as it relates to when something out of the norm might happen, um, how you react and the process and the procedures that would need to be followed. That is something we have to look at to ensure that we have those protocols in place and that persons who are directly involved are aware of the protocols. So in the event of an incident, we will know exactly what we would need to do.
Mhm.
Mm, very, very salient points there from Miss Gallimore. But just to hear from Mrs. Osborne as a parent, what are some of the implications, some of the instances that you possibly can recall, where you're like, okay, these are the things that I need to do as a parent to ensure that not only my child is safe, but the fellow students that my child will, interact with? What are some of the things that you believe you as a parent, probably you are doing them already or can do to ensure that that happens?
Hi, good evening again, everyone. All right, so one of the challenges that really hits hard for most of our students on a daily basis, and as a parent, is bullying and harassment, right? My son, my son is what we call one of the smaller kids for his age, and sometimes being smaller, you are picked on a little bit more. It is really important to teach your children to be assertive but not rude. Teach them to understand how to navigate public spaces where other persons are, respecting boundaries. Teaching them how to, growing up. All right, growing up, we were taught if someone steps on our toe, you go for the teacher or you go to a prefect, right? We would also be brought outside for drills where we would do role plays, you would practice. So, one of the things that I do with my son and my niece is to share with them in the eventuality of something happening. Someone hits you, you hit someone, you bounce someone. What would you do? What are some of the plans you can put in place? These are some of the things I know that the Parent Teachers Association in most schools, they try to make students aware, help parents to be aware. It is important, I heard Corporal state that all stakeholders need to be involved. That's one of the things that I think that we need to re-implement, where law enforcement is involved in the schools, the district constable is involved in the schools. Emergency preparedness should not be an afterthought. It should be something that everybody's involved in. It really does take an entire village to raise the child and to help the teachers and the staff to ensure that our children, who spend sometimes even more time with our principals and with our teachers, they spend more time sometime at school. So how do we keep them safe from bullying? How do we keep them safe in the event of a fight or in the event of an unforeseen incident? We must share with them, do role plays, ensure that we go in as parents and become a part of what is happening in the schools. Because a lot of times you just send the students and we leave everything on the teachers. And, as you would hear from the principal, sometimes the resources are little to none. There are some schools who have access to technology. There are some schools that don't. Our principal had an issue coming on because guess what? She's in a rural area and technology gives a little bit of trouble there. The connection is not so clear. So how can we get parents involved? How can we teach our students to be aware of their surroundings, understand what bullying is, understand what harassment is, understand conflict resolution, teach them, help them to do it, and become more involved. I mean, everyone, those undergrounds and us as parents and the law enforcement persons, everyone, just getting involved and helping children to overcome the struggles that they face daily. Another important thing that I think that we really need to do is to not just have guidance counselors at school, but to incorporate counseling in school. Get those persons who are being trained, third year and otherwise, get pastors involved who are trained in counseling, get persons out so that we can help the children. We can see the things that are happening before they happen and help to stem some of the behavioral issues that we're facing in schools.
Thank you so much, Mrs. Osborne, for that insight there. We are going to another break. And when we return, we're going to hear more from our panelists on the issue of school safety. Stay with us here on Campus Connection. We'll be back.
NIS pensioners, avoid the wait. Get your NIS pension straight to your bank account. It's easy. Simply visit the Ministry of Labor and Social Security's website, mlss.gov.jm, or the nearest NIS office and collect the direct deposit application form. Then complete the form and submit it along with supporting documents to the NIS office nearest you. Avoid crowds and long lines. Get your money when you want it. The National Insurance Scheme, always working for you.
Affirm Ambulance Services, Jamaica's premier provider of emergency medical transportation. We do medical standby for both private and corporate events, non-medical emergency services, emergency transportation to and from medical facilities, hospitals, and homes, wheelchair provision, nursing homes, and first aid, plus so much more. We are located at 17 Cleardale Avenue, Kingston 10, and we can be contacted at telephone numbers 876-281-1262 or 876-299-2053. Follow us on Instagram at affirm_ambulance. Affirm Ambulance Services, a firm choice in health transportation.
When you say phosphorus, you say electrical. SWA cables, conduits, transformers, and breakers. When you say phosphorus, you say lighting, chandeliers, and more. When you say phosphorus, you say LEDs and solar water heaters. Phosphorus is electrical, lighting, solar, and LEDs. Visit us today, Kingston, Mandeville, and Montego Bay. Phosphorus.
Jamaica and its workforce are advancing quickly. Life-changing opportunities are arising. You need training and support. We are the Renewed Heart NSTA Trust, committed to providing new and emerging skills training and opportunities. Come to Heart. We'll help you claim your place in the workforce of the future.
Grace sardine for the chef and the beginner. Follow the one with pepper, that are the winner. Shop on supermarkets, everybody
Grace
sell it.
sardines follow the better flavor.
The time is
6:17. All right, welcome back to Campus Connection. We are certainly thrilled that we've been having such a wonderful time in our discussion on school safety. We have with us Corporal Kester Fennell from the St. Catherine, I want to get it right, the St. Catherine North Community Safety and Security Branch. He is the Domestic Violence Intervention Manager and the Corporate Communication Liaison for the division. We also have with us Mrs. Grace Anna Baugh Osborne. She's a pastor, mentor, life coach, and most of all, she is a parent. We also have Miss Letitia Gallimore, the acting principal of the BB Coke High School. Something came to mind, and I just wanted, I'm throwing this question to Corporal Fennell and also to Miss Gallimore, right? No, I'm looking at just the response of student. An act of violence was committed at the BB Coke High School, but I'm looking at the response of the classmates, the colleagues of that student that was affected, how they ensured that the student made it to the hospital, received medical treatment, walked miles, to help their fellow schoolmates. Can this be a part of how we address safety in schools, encouraging our students to be more proactive when things go wrong? I'm going to throw this question to Miss Gallimore and then want to hear from you, Corporal. And remember to unmute.
Yes. Thank you so much. As it relates to the incident, based on the question that you asked, I think it can be a challenge as well as we can also use it as a teaching moment, as we would refer to as classroom teachers. Use it as a teaching moment to train and to educate other members, other students, to encourage them, as you would say, how to react in certain situations and reacting in such situation in a positive way. As you made mention to the boys and how they would have reacted, they would have seen one of their classmates, one of their friends in a dire need of help. And in the front of their mind, in the forefront of their mind was to get help for him. So reacting to a negative situation, but in a positive way, in moving ahead collectively together to ensure that their friend would have gotten the attention that they that he would have needed at the moment. And I look at it as also a challenge because as it relates to emergency response and preparedness of educational institution to deal with certain emergencies, that is something we have to consistently reinforce to our student population, not only to our student population, but to your entire staff, so that it can be fresh in their minds at all times. To they are reminded of the protocols for whatever form of emergency it might be. In this case, it was a child who was in need of medical attention. And these boys acting on acting on their own would have seen this and saw that the most appropriate action in their mind at the present moment was to move with him and to try to get medical attention for him. So as it relates to emergency response and preparedness, it is very important for the entire organization, be it in a school setting or a work setting, to be aware of the correct protocols to follow to ensure that all parties involved are treated and are also accounted for in whatever emergency it might be that the institution is being affected by at the particular time.
Absolutely. Corporal Fennel?
All right. So let me first of all say that personally, I am proud of those boys. And let me tell you why. Far too often we see in social media where something has happened to somebody, and rather than persons reaching out to help, they are out there videoing it just so that they can post it. And I am proud of them because that was not their approach. They decided that they were going to help their fellow student who was injured. And that for me speaks volume. It tells us that, as many would say, our society is not totally gone. You understand? There are still, in fact, positive young people out there who are going to showcase positive behavior, the kind of positive behavior that we want to instill in every other student. The other thing that I love is the kind of attention that they are getting as a result of their action. Because whilst many persons are focused on the act that was committed against the student, here it is, the government and other agencies are highlighting the actions of these young men, which for me is encouraging because it's going to encourage other young people to act accordingly. So, this is what you want. You want to reinforce this kind of behavior. This is what you want to be modeled by other students. And so, you want to highlight it and let people see that, yes, this is what you are to do. And when you do good, there will be reward for you. There will be benefit. That is what we want persons to see. So for me, I am proud of them. And, I hope that other students take a page out of them book, so to speak. You
Yeah.
understand? So that this kind of response to incidents such as these is what we will see going forward. But, I also want to highlight one other thing. Another one of the biggest challenges that I have observed as it relates to school administration enforcing the rules and the protocols is the influence of communities on the schools. The reality is that far too often we see what would be schoolboy squabble or squabble among students becoming community conflicts. When
Mm.
something happens between students, rather than the adults coming in, stepping in to stop it from escalating, they take it to a whole nother level. So
Mm-hmm.
they go and they report what an incident that happened at school to the adults, whether it is their family members or otherwise. And rather than they coming together now to, let's say, let us resolve the issue, they take a completely different approach. So when you have the adults that are getting involved into things that are happening at school, and you find that these adults are coming into the school and they are displaying certain behaviors to the children, then what we're going to find happening is that that's going to pose a challenge for the teachers and for the administration of the school as it relates to enforcing their protocols. So one of the biggest challenges is the negative behaviors of communities that are seeping into the schools that in many cases the school administration cannot control. Far too often we recognize that, look here, there are actually gangs operating in schools, gangs that are in communities that are now going into schools to recruit students into those gangs. And a lot of the behaviors, so, for example, the drug usage, etc., you find it coming into the school and it is stemming from what they are being taught, what they are being fed, what they're being encouraged to do by the gangs within their communities. So, that for me is one of the biggest challenges for school administrators, the external impact of communities on schools.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. It looked to me like Mrs. Ball Osborne had a comment that did you want to chime in on this as well? I think your microphone is muted. Miss-
Oh, sorry, my internet went a while ago. Could you please repeat? Thank you.
I was just asking if you wanted to comment on this question as well in terms of is the positive reinforcement that we witnessed with the classmates and the students, is this a way to address safety in schools, or do we need another approach?
This is an awesome way to address it. Um,
Mm,
as we said before, we want to change the way how our community in general deal with instances such as this, right? So, I was listening to what Corporal was saying just before I got cut off, and now the cultural changes and the generational and environmental changes of how our communities are made up, it seeps into our schools. So you find that it seems as if it's more so negative. So when we see that the students were able to help their friend, to rush with him to ensure that he got care, and that it is
mm,
being highlighted, and as principal said, yes, highlight it, use it as a teaching experience. um See how you can push it more. Ask students how they feel about it. What
mm,
can be implemented as we also look at educating our students about conflict resolution and anger management and showing empathy, which they did, showing empathy towards other students, to prevent
mm,
future issues. How can we use this to do a session in devotion, or when we have social sessions with them, how can we help the parents, how can we help the cousins, how can we help the big brothers and the
mhm,
mentors that our young men and young women have? Because a lot of times we kind of look more so on the boys as the ones who push violence, but we do have young girls who do it as well. So I think this
mhm,
is really a positive turn, and I'm so happy that it is being highlighted, and I'm hoping to see more of this. Less
mhm,
videoing of the negative and more videoing of the positive, and more
mhm.
teaching of how to react positively in bad situations. So I'm really, I want to applaud them. Yes.
Yes, yes,
And
yes,
I believe that
absolutely,
we can do much more of this. Don't stop.
absolutely.
I hope that we don't stop pushing it. I hope that other principals and teachers will jump on. I hope that the creative teachers will make poems about it. I hope that they'll jokes
Mm,
about it. I hope we'll hear songs about it. You understand?
yes.
Mhm,
So that we can do drama presentations about it, keep it alive, so that our students can see that there is hope, that we
mhm.
can be good citizens, that we can be good future leaders. So
Absolutely.
yeah.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you so much, Mrs. Osborne. Miss Gallimore, your final thoughts on the matter, in just a sentence. Just your final thoughts on the matter of school safety. Can go ahead and unmute.
Final thought on school safety. We have to realize that school safety is something that is general, and it is a comprehensive, um, it's very comprehensive, and it is something that all stakeholders have to be a part of. It cannot be just only school administrators, the Ministry of Education, etc., but every single stakeholder have a very important role to play as it relates to school safety. Parents, teachers, all stakeholders. And that is what
All right.
we have to ensure collectively we are playing our role as it relates to school safety. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Corporal, your final thoughts, your one sentence.
All right. So my one sentence on school safety is this. It's just to remind everybody that school safety is everybody's business. Everybody's
Mm-hmm.
business. It's not just for the parents and the administrators of the school and the students. It's for every single adult, every well-thinking, law-abiding citizen has a role to play. You see something happening out there, you see a young person doing something that they ought not to do, you need to step in and say something. That's my one sentence.
Thank you so much, Corporal. Mrs. Osborne, your final sentence on the matter.
My final sentence on the matter is this.
Mm-hmm.
Please let us, as stakeholders across the nation, come together, get the resources, call our people together, call our children together, get everyone who has physical resource or human resource together, re-implement the safety policies, teach it, let it become something that is known not just by those who are adults, but the children from the basic school level all the way up. Please let us do this. So let it be something that is regularly reviewed, and it must be
Mm-hmm.
policies that everyone can partake of, whether we are at rural schools, whether we are in the schools that are, having more resources. That's what I want to see.
Mm-hmm.
The policies being implemented, revisited, structured for everyone so that we can all not be people who are acting after the fact, but be proactive so that we can have a safer school environment, a safer Jamaica, a safer and a more involved community in general.
Thank you so much, Mrs. Osborne. Wow. Amazing, amazing points here from our panelists. We're talking about the matter of school safety and how important it is for us to, be stakeholders and active stakeholders on the matter of school safety. Panelists, thank you so much for joining us here on Campus Connection.
Thank you so much for
Thank
having
you,
us.
everyone.
Thank you and do enjoy the rest of your evening and may it be safe.
Yes, may
Thank
it
you
be
very
Thank
much.
you.
safe. Bless you, everybody.
Thank you. Thank you. Want to bring
All
your
right.
attention now to just some of the comments that came in, and I believe my favorite was from Shamala Lawrence. I hope I am saying your name right. S. Lawrence. We need to go back to the days where a village raises a child. It takes a village to raise a child. We've always heard that, but Shamala is saying we need to go back to those days. Thanks to everyone who came on and chimed in, gave your feedback, even just came on to say hello. We appreciate it. Pauletta Jones said, "Good evening, everyone. Interesting and informative program. Back to community raising the child." So there's this general consensus that that's actually what's needed, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. So thank you guys so much for being with us. To all the persons on YouTube, yes, we saw your comments as well. Uh, Christina Winter Allen said, excellent views, Corporal Fennel. Marvel Miller said, good evening. Hello to Alvarine and all the other persons who joined on. Thank you so much for leaving your thoughts and comments with us.
Absolutely. So there will be no show next week, that is October 17, 2023, as it is going to be midterm following the Heroes holiday period. But we come back on the 24th of October with Unsung Heroes, and then on the 31st with Open Campus. So you don't want to miss that at all. Special thanks to our team, working behind the scenes, Jermaine Johnson, Dr. Nadine Blair, Tamara Butler, David Sutton, and Latifa Reed. And thanks, of course, to our amazing guests and to our Education News and Bulletin presenter, Nicholas Williamson. Thank you so much for making it Campus Connection this evening. So that's all for this week's show. See you on October 24 as we explore more things while go on Campus.
Tell me what I want. Campus connection, yeah, and that's a one. Hey, some make us